I have been using this insanely effective trick for gaining experience in Call of Dragons, and in this video, I want to tell you all about it because I cannot believe how much experience I'm putting onto my commanders with this simple trick. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and I'm sure all of you are trying to put as much experience as possible onto your heroes in your fresh start in either a new season or as a brand new player in Call of Dragons. And let me tell you, I just cannot believe how effective this simple trick is, which is to use gathering commanders, level them up quickly, and then put secondary commanders with them to also get experience. It's that simple, and you can see it here on the screen. Don't worry, I'll explain it a little bit more in depth, but you can see I've got my gathering commander over here with a secondary commander gaining experience. Gathering commander over here, secondary commander gaining experience. In fact, I have had situations where both primary and secondary commander are gaining experience. So what is this little trick? I mean, look, some of you have figured this out already. We've been talking about this in my live streams, but if you go to a gathering specific hero, they have talents that are different. In their foundation talents, they have Earth's Grace, giving 12,000 experience per day. But Earth's Grace also shows up in the gathering tree. So you can get another 20,000 experience per day over here. And I'm pretty sure it's another 20,000 over here. You can get so much experience this way. Now, there's a limit per day. However, once one commander has maxed out their experience, you can use another. And you do that by pairing them as the secondary. So even though your primary commander will eventually cap on experience, that's your gathering hero, like you saw me using in the reports right over here, the secondary is still gaining experience. So you want to gather like crazy using this technique, and my recommendation is that instead of spending your experience tomes leveling up different combat heroes like I did at the start, for example, I took Nico to 20, I instead diverted all my experience tomes into the 3 gathering talent tree heroes that I have, and I took them to level 20 as fast as I could. And by doing that, now I pair them with secondary commanders, and those commanders are gaining experience, which is insane. The one hero who unfortunately is not as good for this and is my last priority is Ordo. The reason is that he does not have the gathering talent tree, so he is capped at the 12,000 experience per day, which is still value, but I'm out of experience tomes now. So I'll bring him to level 20, unlock his 3rd star as soon as I can, so that even I can put 12,000 experience on another commander, which, like, hey, every 1 or 2 times I've brought him out of my city and gone and gathered it, even a low-level node, I will take the experience of the secondary commander up by another 12,000. And look, all of this might not seem like much for now in the early game, but in the late game, remember, you are limited to the amount of stamina you have. So I can remove my picture here so you can see that there is a limit to the number of times that you can send a hero out of your city to fight that is based off of your stamina on that hero. And that's at 100. I mentioned this because you want to have as many heroes leveled up as possible, because eventually you're going to run out of stamina and you're going to have to fight with some other hero. So the trick here is to gain as much experience as we can on as many commanders as we can, so that even when you run out of stamina on your main commanders, you'll have more commanders ready to go, and you'll have more commanders leveled up than the people that you're ultimately fighting. Now, by end of season, this might not matter as much, but at the start of the season, it's huge. So what are some other tricks you can do to increase your gathering speed? Because now, increasing gathering speed is like increasing experience gain. They're synonymous with each other. So to do that, you definitely need to use an enhanced gathering item, which I'm doing here. This gathering item it's very simple. You can buy them at the merchant, and it's 50% more gathering speed, bro. So think of that as a 50% boost to, I mean, look, it's not a flat boost. They stack in kind of weird ways with all the other buffs, but think about it as a boost to the speed with which you gain experience. Very, very critical. Also, research. Research goes a really long way in boosting your gathering speed. Now, some of this research you can actually get from scouting. So all of the technology, all the way up to the third column, you actually could get from scouting. The problem is that I've already scouted everything in my starting zone, and I still need to go and get this 4% of gold gathering speed for just a tiny amount of speed ups. I need to go do that, like really, really soon. In fact, I have doubled back on all my military technology now because I had ultimately planned to get these first 3 columns from, going out and actually, scouting around the map. But I've run out of things that I can scout, and I want this technology sooner than when a new open zone opens up and I can do some scouting. So I'm going through and cleaning all those up, but getting all the gathering speed you can from your research, even if it's like, hey, wait a minute, you mean, a small number of hours, like over here, 1 hour gets me 1%. That's pretty good. I mean, it's a very small time commitment for some percent gathering speed boost. The other place where you're going to get some gathering speed that you shouldn't neglect is in your notice board. Your notice board also will just give you directly more experience gain boost. Okay, hero EXP boost from war studies, 1 and 2. Okay, that's good. But also, you get resource gathering speed boost over here and also troop load. Don't neglect troop load as well. You'll find that you're not going to have enough troops at the start of the game to actually gather a full node. And that's fine if you can be really attentive to the game and keep sending out your gatherers, but don't neglect troop load, both in your research and your policies, to help mitigate this problem at least a little bit. And the final place where you can get some gathering speed is in your VIP. And VIP is a really good place to spend all your gems at the start of the game, with the exception of maybe the 5,000 gems to get your second building queue. That's the only thing that's higher priority, but you will get more gathering speed. I actually bit the bullet and gemmed my way to VIP 12. It was like another 140,000 gems, which I have because I've been whaling. I've spent already, I want to say like almost $2,000, which is nutty, but VIP is giving me another 20% gathering speed, which again is more experience tomes. Now, there are conventional ways, as if somehow this is unconventional, but like the more straightforward way of getting experience onto your heroes is to go into the Dragon Trail and to push on the Dragon Trail as much as you can, and then periodically you get crucial amounts of experience. I even sped up a bunch of troops in order to be able to push further in this because I knew the experience gain was going to be so critical to the start of my new account. And I basically push as far as I can toward the end of the day. I'm going to do my free attempt and my quick loots. I'm even going to spend gems on this personally in order to get more experience, in order to get more prestige, and also I get a little bit of Dragon Glass. But I really want to accelerate the start. And the other thing you can do to accelerate this is that you really should be spending all of your coins here at the start of the game unlocking Indus. It's really critical to unlock Indus because guess what? She has the Gathering Talent Tree. So the only heroes that you can do this with at the time of this recording includes your gatherers, Indus, right over here with the Gathering Tree. Another top priority is going to be Kella, then Chaksha, and lastly Pan. And the reason I say lastly Pan is because you do have to take her to 3 stars. Taking her to 3 stars if you were a brand new player means that your skill distribution is going to be split between the gathering speed that you really want and also, an attack skill you don't care about and also a defense boost over here that you really don't care about. The gathering heroes are very much here to accelerate your experience gain and your resource gain. And I think the experience gain aspect of these commanders is the most underhyped. And the last priority, as I mentioned, is my Ordo, who, look, he just has the 1 talent, so I'll get him there. But because he's only got it in the foundation talents, he is my lowest priority. Now, as far as the sort of rest of your points go on the gathering commanders here, where do you put the rest of these talents? I have been doubling down on whatever the commander already does. So this hero is a wood gathering hero, so I picked wood gathering speed, right? Like this is extremely straightforward. When I continue up the tree, I'm going to get all the gathering speed stuff. The load boost is actually kind of nice, but I'm just going to focus on the gathering speeds instead. And some of the guidance I've heard is that you should really focus on gathering mana on your main account, because apparently you can't transfer mana to other players, which I haven't actually tested that yet, but that was news to me. So Mana Master would be a reasonable choice if you think that most of your heroes will gather mana at some point, which probably they will at the end game, but at the start, it's really not going to matter so much. Now, do I want to power level my hero all the way up to get this level of Earth's Grace? I don't think I want to use experience tomes to get that many levels. I mean, that would take another 5, 10, 15, 21 levels. There's no shot that I'm going to get the experience that fast. But I do think using your experience tomes to get Earth's Grace over here, get to level 20, is super crucial. And I wish I had done that sooner as my number one first priority. Because at the start of the season, I am finding anyways, that battling the Darklings is just so easy that I didn't need experience on those heroes. I needed the experience on the Gatherers. If you found this video helpful, do me a huge favor, throw a like on here and subscribe to the channel so you get more videos just like this one, giving you tips and tricks for getting just insane value in Call of Dragons. And if you're looking for more Call of Dragons content, like tips for new players or big mistakes you could make in the early game, cards will be for that in the end screen as well.